Contrast uncut, yeah, you know that's us. Where we only speak the real and the real rock with us. Where we motivate the people and politic on success. Oh no, we ain't DJ Khaled, but they swearing we the best. Contrast uncut, contrast uncut, contrast uncut, contrast uncut.
What's happening? It's Contrast.
Hey, what's good, man?
It's season 3, episode 3. It's your host, DJ $1 like I won some money, aka Zylo. Man, I gotta give a big shout out to Bobby D Presents and Uncle Snoops Army. I wouldn't be able to do this without you, brothers. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a very special guest. I got one of those really, really talented singers, songwriters. I mean, he's been making splashes amongst the scene. And I'm gonna be very honest. I was going through the catalog, searching through iTunes, and I came across your music. And it was a song called Balloons. I hit play, and bro, it caught me, it grabbed me. And I was like, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know where he's at, but I need to holler at my peoples, and we need to find where this guy's at. We need to get him on my show because, bro, that shit caused like a rip effect with me. And so, I'm talking about Chi-Town's very own Mr. Hollywood Hill. I got Conor Matthews in the building. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's good, man? I'm glad to hear Balloons is how you found me, man. That's one of my all-time favorite tracks. That song's special to me, so that's dope.
Good. See, I told you off air I wasn't gonna tell you how I found you until we got on here.
Yeah.
And
That's good. I'm glad you did.
The same way. But no, bro, like that song literally blew me out the water. Like I was like, man, I gotta download this. I sent this to my wife, and like we sent it back and forth. Now we got all the kids dancing to it.
I love that, man. Thank you.
We seen the version with Tank on it. We was like, oh, and he's certified.
Yeah, dude, Tank. He's been one of my idols forever, man. And being able to do that song with him was just so freaking cool to me. My boy at UTA hooked me up, sent it to Tank, and Tank was like, yo, I fuck with this, and he just put his verse on it.
Yeah, that was easy.
Yeah, I've never had anything go so easy in the music industry. It was just like, yeah, it's like someone fucked with the music and they did something because they fucked with it. It wasn't like any politics or like knowing the right person. It was just easy, man.
Yeah, no, it got to the right hands to one stop drop, and then it got sent back.
That's exactly what happened. And we were gonna shoot a music video for it too before this whole like Corona quarantine thing happened.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna get into what you're doing and when to look out for that video later on. But right now, I got this quote, and I want you to weigh on it. Let me know how it relates to you, or if it doesn't, it won't hurt my feelings. It's Contrast Uncut.
Hit me.
For me, money is not my definition of success. Inspiring people is a definition of success. Kanye West.
Man, I fuck with that. That's kind of like, it's kind of been how I like viewed, I've been doing music for a long time, man. I was in the shower like a few days ago, and I feel like I woke up because I've been tracing this dream since I was 14. I'm 24 now, and I was like, yo, it's been 10 solid years of like doing this shit day in, day out. And I started like wondering like what it was that was like keeping me going, like through the good times and the bad. And that quote kind of says it. It's like, it's not about like trying to obtain like anything from like a monetary value. It's like bringing up the next generation of creatives behind you and inspiring people to do whatever it is that they want to do with their lives. Like be more than just, a cog in the machine. Like go out and like chase the shit that you find important. And that's like what drives me, is knowing that like, like people are out there discovering the shit I do, and it's inspiring them to do stuff that they love.
I mean, I like to say that this relates to me in attracting wealth. And everybody thinks the word and the definition of wealth is all about money, and it's the ability that's in you to get it. But it's not the whole thing about attracting. It's like they pay you for what you do. You have such a great thing that you do and you put on this earth that, you attracted, that people come to you and they will pay you. They'll pay you in time. They'll pay you in money. They'll pay you in lavish rides and everything else that this damn industry brings to you.
Right. That's true, man. And influence too, you know, it's like when your sphere of influence grows, it's like the same thing as the same idea as attracting wealth. It's like everything just kind of comes, you know?
Yeah, so it leads me to my next question, my next segment. Did the game choose you or did you choose the game?
That depends, man. It depends on how you look at it. Because, I mean, I've known since I was 4 that I wanted to be on stages and writing music. And I don't know if 4 is old enough to choose the game.
So I mean, that's 20 years of pursuing this.
Yeah, I mean, 20 years of pursuing it, and then 10 years of deciding, like, this is all I want to do for the rest of my life.
So I feel like, you know, at 14, it was 10 years of you choosing it, and then the last 10 years of it, the game choosing you.
I think so, too. I think the game chose me first, and then I took hold of it and was like, nah, we're going to do this.
Oh, perfect. So, you know, what was your confirmation moment of, like, this is what I'm doing, this is, you know, I'm supposed to be doing this?
I mean, it came late, man. It was, well, not late. I mean, it came early in the grand scheme of life. It came late if you think about how long I've been trying to do it. My first confirmation was probably, I was 19. I just moved to Nashville like a year earlier. And I was just kind of like, I was there grinding, writing songs day in, day out, 3 songs a day, just like doing the thing, man, just trying to get noticed by anyone. And I got offered my first publishing deal when I was 19, which basically means that you sign an agreement to write songs for a company, for other people. And to me, that was the first moment where I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm okay at this, you know?
Right.
And that kind of gave me the fuel to keep going and eventually like pursue my own artist project. And more and more people started believing in me. And then it was just like confirmation after confirmation. And I was like, you know what, it's probably just because now that I always knew it was the right path, but you know, now you see other people believing in you, and you're like, I guess I didn't fuck it up. Yeah.
Right. It's always gonna be the unknown that we question.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever get away with that. You know, I hear some people out here talking like, you know, this it's already mine, like it's mine for the taking, like that kind of thing. And like I applaud those people, man, because I haven't felt like that yet. I feel like I'm like the future is always like, man, it's gonna be a fuck ton of work to grab a hold of anything out there. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, we go back 30 years, bro. All you had to do was just be able to sing. You didn't have to write it. You didn't have to dance it. All you had to do was stand there and sing. Versus now, you gotta sing, you gotta songwrite, you gotta DJ, you gotta know how to act on the camera, you gotta know how to smile, when to be mean. It's like, fuck.
Dude, it's true, man. It's like, I think about that sometimes because it was like back in the day, you know, the only way it was through radio. It was like radio was the key to everything, radio and touring. And these days, I mean, like, there's a bajillion things out there you could be doing, man. You see people breaking off TikTok. You see people breaking off Spotify, Apple Music. Every now and then you get an artist that goes to radio, breaks like that. But it's like, you know, it's not cut and dry anymore. It's not like you got a good voice, here's some good songs, let's send you to radio and the public love you. It's like, it's almost just like a DIY all the time. Even when you're signed, it's a DIY.
Yeah, because I mean, nowadays, they're not putting money into people unless you got this, that, and the other. Otherwise,
yeah.
The 360 deal and getting kicked to the curb. Like, do something with our name, or you know what? Peace.
That's exactly how it is, man. It's like, you know, the radio's not even in question until you're raking it in.
Right.
Until you're making, you know, I don't even know, man, like 10 grand a week on streaming. Like labels won't even consider radio for you. You know, it's like where it used to be, it's like if you got a new artist, you got some new songs, go, hey, Mr. Radio, you know?
Oh yeah,
play the song.
Like before, bro, you have to get into DJ pools. Media-based was the biggest thing on the earth.
Yeah.
You know, like my family's from the Bay Area. I'm from LA, so like pretty much live scan, sound scan, and like pretty much reselling something 3 times and calling in your numbers. Like that was a big hustle back in the day because that's
man,
on the billboard.
Yeah, it's funny because it feel like it's gotten simpler and more complicated, you know, at the same time, which is so weird.
Well, yeah, you tell anyone to do it themselves, they're gonna fucking come to their own decision on whatever the hell they're doing, not following any rules or any blueprints.
Yeah. I don't know if you know what I don't think there are rules anymore, man. You hear people out here being like, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you should be doing this. And I'm like, yeah, you're just taking somebody else's blueprint and trying to apply it when that's not how it works anymore, you know? Like, there's no telling. I mean, you could post a video online tomorrow and have like 300 million streams by next week, and all of a sudden you're successful. Or you could go, you know, start a live circuit in your hometown and build fans up like that slowly. And 7 years later, you'll have yourself a career. You know, it's like, I just feel like back in the day, there was a game plan, and it was like a pretty formulaic one. And so, you know, people try and act like there's a formula to how to do it these days, and it just, I don't see. If there is one, I would love to know, because I don't see one.
You know, I've been doing this for a long time, like being in the music industry, and something I got told just recently, like within 6 months ago, and it's made more sense, and like it's been a ripple effect in my life. And it's, you know, progress lies where you break the rules.
Yeah, man, always.
So, you know, as much as you said that, you know, there are no rules, there really aren't. I mean, there's guidelines of how you're supposed to do certain things. You send things off right, you be respectful. They say don't build relationships, but you build relationships because you get further.
Oh yeah, man, yeah. And I'm even thinking about it from my point of view. Like, I always have people telling me like, oh, you gotta do more covers, like you gotta, you know, post yourself online singing more, like do this, do that. And my head, I was like, that never thrilled me, man. Some people love doing covers. Some people love sitting down, singing songs. They just like to hear themselves sing, which is dope. Like, I love that. And I love watching. You know, it's fun. It's entertainment. It's good. But for me, like, all I ever wanted to do was write songs. So I was like, yo, I'm just going to get real fucking good at writing songs. Hopefully write better songs than other people. And then people pay attention to me because they like my original music and they like my songwriting. And that's what happened. I'm by no means like a success story yet, but I've seen enough stuff and been in the professional industry long enough to know that like my commodity was making good ass original music, and like it's working for me. You know, it's like people are noticing because of the music and the original content that I make, and like that was important for me because that's what I enjoy doing. But someone else could start, you know, someone else starts as like a cover artist and they got an incredible voice and they get discovered like that. It's like, either way you look at it, man, it's like, just do whatever you love to do and get noticed for that. Like, don't try and like follow some formulaic game plan because someone's telling you to do it. Like, just choose what you love and go for it, you know?
Big facts. Because when you're authentic to yourself, it can't be replicated by others. And
exactly. That's the biggest thing.
That's being attracting wealth. That's doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, bro, I wouldn't be here stopping your day trying to get what you got going on if it wasn't for your music grabbing me. And then look, I'm
thank you, bro.
Mesmerized by the history because, you know, there's not too much we can find about you. So I'm like, yeah, let's start really cracking into Conor's history.
I love that. But yeah, there's not a whole lot out there yet.
Because, you know, I really feel like as time goes by, the transition from you being from behind the scenes to the forefront to further is a matter of just time.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I just feel like, you know, I just like to follow my own like preaching. I just feel like as long as I stick at it, keep making dope music, like more and more people are gonna notice it until it pops, you know.
So, you know, you've had some highs and you've had some lows. Let me know some of the highs and lows through this industry.
Yeah, man. Highs, start there. Highs would be, obviously my first publishing deal was dope, and then getting to work with some of my first few idols because of the music that I was writing, and they just heard the song. I was working with Sam Hunt, who was like my country idol for a while.
Dope.
And I was writing a bunch of his songs with him. Just like riding around, trying to write for his records, seeing if anything stuck. It was weird because there was two artists in the room, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. It worked pretty well while we were doing our shit. We wrote like 8 to 10 like really fucking good songs. And then in the Nashville circuit, you know, having people like Keith Urban like find my music and fuck with it. And Thomas Rhett, people like that. That stuff kept me going early on when I was like 19, 20, you know. And then obviously like, I mean, one of my favorite moments ever was the Tank thing, dude, because he's to me like just he's a legend beyond legends. Like, he is R&B music to me, you know?
Absolutely. But you know what? It just hit me right now like a ton of bricks. The reason why I fuck with your sound, it's because it's the R&B, but it's also like the grassroots country storytelling that like, hip hop used to really admire, and R&B used to really admire back in the late 80s, early 90s, that, you know, it misses it. And then you add your voice of that instrument and the flair that you have, and then look, we got hits.
Thank you, bro. I always say, man, I always tell people I'm like the two closest, like two genres that have the most in common is like R&B, hip hop, and country. Like those two genres, like they have so much more in common than people think.
Bro, I just seen a video like a month ago. Roddy Ricch was doing trap country. Like, you know, biggest.
Yeah, it's happening more and more, man. You're getting the crossovers and stuff.
It's huge. And I mean, no one cares to think about Selena or the Bobby Browns of the world, where they go ahead and they sat there and they transfer the music, they cross genres. You know, we wouldn't have New Jack Swing if we didn't have Bobby Brown. We wouldn't have, you know, the Spanglish to pop culture sound that we have now that's taking over the world in reggaeton. And so, you know, it's important that we bring up the highlight of just, you know, hip hop and country music, because a lot of people.
It is, man. And it's also important to just point out the people who like didn't let like, you know, labels or genres get in the way of who influenced them. You know, like if you have multi-genre influences and you're an artist, like I think those should all come across in what you make, and like because that shapes who you are. You know, that's who you are inside.
Bro, I used to see videos about Motown, and if you were signed to Motown, you used to have to take a course for 3 months and learn how to perform, like boot camp, all for performing. And like, you know, none of that is here today. Motown doesn't do that today. You don't see no one in the Migos and Quality Control running, sprinting, and saying their lyrics and stuff that they used to have to do back then.
It's wild, man. It is. It's true. Even I forget how much artist development like labels did back then. It truly was artist development. It was like every area of a career that they ran you through boot camps for, you know, whether it was writing or performing or singing, or, you know, they had like vocal coaches in the studio back then. They had like stage coaches, like you said, telling you how to move, telling you what to say, what not to say, like all that shit. It was crazy.
I mean, but now we got Publicists, but the Publicists don't even do a fraction. God dang, my producer, big ass, and he's skinny, just decided to knock over my damn camera, but we're good. Oh shit, he took me off guard, took me off my whole train of thought. It's all good.
You're saying publicists these days.
Oh, yeah. Publicists. Like nowadays, the publicists pretty much are doing all the work of that, essentially. I mean, they're the forefronts of pretty much doing everything that talks about you, and then you got to do the rest once you're there. Yeah,
it's funny. It's a funny thing, because the one thing I've learned, you know, through this whole process, because it doesn't work how it used to, where you know, a label will take you and you know, either for good or bad, shape you and then give you a platform. You know what I mean? Like they'll mold you into who they think you should be and then give you a platform. Back in the day. Now, I barely remember what I was even going with this. Oh yeah, but now what I'm noticing is like, you are the fire, you know? It's like you have to start the fire. It's not about anyone starting. Like there's the fire starters don't come from outside sources anymore. Like they'll fan it, and like you said, like publicists are in charge of making sure everybody like talks about what's to be talked about. But you have to make sure there's something to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like essentially, I don't care if you're signed or not. Like you are your own small business, and like you gotta be out there hustling, making plays, and not expecting anyone else to do it for you, because most times they're not going to. They'll help you as a team once you get started, but like I think it's up to the individual and the artist and immediate team to start the fire.
A lot of people forget, like, hey, you knocked on the door, they answered it, they gave you some paperwork, sent you on your way with some money, but you got to do the rest now. Like, and a lot of people get hoopla of that. And I am grateful for the do-it-yourself independent world, because a lot less people don't get the chance to get on, be it they're not ready or you know, they don't have the longevity of a career that somebody back then would.
Right.
So as we talk about back then and now so much, I definitely want to hear you sell yourself and do it yourself right now. You know, for all the people that, as we've been talking about it, that haven't heard about you or haven't heard your music, you know, give them something right now that, you know, let them know that you're going to last the test of time.
Well, dude, I'll tell you, I was Mr. DIY, man. I was independent for a long time as an artist. And like when I was going through some like real tough times, you know, I had like a couple songs kind of taken from me, and you know, all the industry shit that you hear, man. Like I've been through it all. I've been through all the shady shit. Like when it comes to artist, like artist to companies, like I've been through a lot of different stuff. So at one point, I was so fed up with everything, man. I stopped writing with like anyone for like, I mean, I shit you not, 2 years. I just holed up in my studio, and like wrote by myself every single day for hours, 12-hour days, every day, singing to the mic, playing on the piano, writing songs, until I eventually started releasing music independently. And I put my first 3 singles out, which were not great. I mean, they were 2 years old by the time I put them out, so I don't even blame myself for that. But and they were the first songs I ever put out. Didn't really do much. And then I kept at it. I kept in my studio. I kept writing, and eventually I put out a song that the very first person to ever really put me on he worked at playlisting at Apple at the time, and my song had come across his desk. And his name's Arya. He's like my homie. Shout out Arya. But he fucking took that song and he said, I believe in this song, and he put it on some like starter playlists at Apple. And people fucked with it so heavy that like he moved it into like the big playlist at Apple. And then it just kept performing like amazing, and it wound up on Today's Hits on Apple, and then it wound up on some like big Spotify stuff. And like that was like a true independent pop, it was like organically happened from like the start of the song to people reacting to it to like everything. And that was like when we were talking about moments that like confirm things for you. That was one of them. It was a big one for me because it was my first time as an artist. People were actually like hearing my shit, and to know that like fans reacted and like people across America were like, yo, we love this so much that like we're gonna make the data so good that they put it on Today's Hits and shit like that. I was like the only independent artist on Today's Hits at the time. Wow. which was crazy. Yeah, it was wild, man. And it was like a dream come true for me, it felt like being on the radio. It felt like millions of people were hearing my song, and it was the first time that had happened for me. And it came from like isolation and so much self-doubt and like wondering if like anything's gonna happen with anything for years. And I just kept at it day in, day out. I kept doing the thing that I love, like I told you in the beginning, which is just focusing on writing good ass songs. And that was all I cared about. And I did. And then it started paying off in independently. And that eventually led to, different like label stuff, which I'm now signed with Warner Records. But all that shit independently.
Disclaimer.
Yeah. But all the work I put in when I was alone, and like when I was scared and I didn't feel like doing nothing because I was apathetic, and I was like, man, how can I break through like all the noise? But I kept doing it, and I kept working, and shit happened independently, but way before the label stuff. So it's it really is about you got to start the fire, man. You got to start the fire.
So let me go ahead and put a pause on the music, and we're going to get back to it later on. I want to get in because we talked about fire. We talked about that energy, and there's another energy of fire. It's fear. And a lot of people don't know what to do in a situation of when they get pulled over. And, I'm talking about red and blue lights, the high beams, the blurred sound. And, I'll ask every single guest of mine when was the last time they were pulled over, and what's some advice you can give somebody that doesn't have the big brother, dad, big homie that can give them some advice.
Right. Man, I hate being pulled over, first of all. I fucking hate it. There's nothing that ruins my day than even just seeing the lights behind me and hearing the noise and being like, fuck, what did I do this time? Fact. So I say, when I'm in that situation, I just say play it cool as possible. Be cool as a cucumber, because like getting heated about anything is just like, it's a cocktail for disaster. You know what I mean? So like, even if I'm like, you fucking full of shit, and I know I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I'm just gonna take it, if they're a dick, I'm gonna let them be a dick. I'm gonna let them write me a ticket, do whatever they want to do, ask me stupid questions. I'm gonna answer them, be polite. And then if I really like, no, that was bullshit, you're in the wrong, then I'll take it up afterward. You know, I'll dispute whatever it is. I go to the court, do whatever. But like in the moment, I just say play it cool, man. Always be respectful. Always play it cool, even if you hate the guy, and even if they're being an asshole to you, just like don't do it back, because that I feel like that's when tension gets high and like you never know what's gonna happen.
So I gotta ask this because you know you and I, we both, our skin color is white, and a lot of people assume that we don't get nervous when the police get behind us, and I get nervous just the same way. Like everybody. I get nervous
every time, man. Every time.
So,
dude, I've had police officers, dude. I've had a long day at work before. This is why I get nervous, because I've been the guy who, you know, was working like a bullshit job, trying to pay rent, and like my eyes are tired. I'm fucking red everywhere because I work so many hours. I'm driving home at like 10 p.m. or whatever, and I get pulled over, and a cop just starts being a dick to me immediately. You know, what are you doing out so late? I'm coming home from work. Really? You look like you're on drugs. You mind if I test you for drugs real quick? You've been drinking? You want to follow the life for me? And I'm just like, what the fuck is this, bro? I just worked my ass off all week. I'm tired. I want to go home and watch Family Guy. I don't want to get pulled over by a police officer and get drug tested on the side of the road.
Really?
So anyway, yes, I get nervous when cops get behind me. But I just play it cool, man. And like, even in that situation, like he ended up letting me go, obviously, because I wasn't doing anything wrong. But it was, you know, all it was him being annoying, kind of being a dick to me.
Hey, that was.
But I played it cool, and it, you know, got out of it. So
it's a buzzkill too.
It's a real
that
buzzkill.
Was a huge buzzkill, man. Makes you nervous. It makes you shaking, and you're like, I hate this.
He said, "Why are you fucking up my night? I just got off work. I just want to watch Family Guy and chill. You want to really fuck up my night?"
Yeah, I did, and I gotta go on a record and say, like, I want to shout out all the good homie police officers out there who keep us safe, because I've got some real good friends in law enforcement, and you know, family member or two. So shout out the ones who are the real guys, the real deals out there to protect us, sir, because we need those ones too, you know.
Yeah, put some influence on those idiots that decide to do dumb things.
Yeah, but don't pull me over after a long day and ask me if I've been doing drugs and all sorts of things. I'm just trying to go home and have some fun.
Man, so after we go through this hard point of talking about awareness, I decided we gotta have fun. And you know, I added this segment, it's called Trading Places. And you know, the whole idea of the Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy movie of them waking up and lives have changed. You know, and I take two iconic people, and question number one is, will it work? And question number two is, what would life be like if they traded places? For you, my friend, I got Jackie Chan trading places with Chris Brown.
Oh, dude, that would absolutely work.
Do tell.
I think it would work. Here's why it would work. Because, number one, Chris Brown could beat Jackie Chan with some of his stage stunts. Like, he could pull that roll off, man. I mean, obviously, like,
think about
even if Chris Brown's soul went into Jackie Chan's body, Chris Brown would still know how to do all the moves Jackie Chan does, right?
Facts.
And if Jackie Chan's soul went into Chris Brown's body, I mean, he could get up there on stage and flip around to like some Chris Brown backing tracks and like make it look like it was Chris Brown. Like, they got very like similar like physical ability. So from that perspective, it worked. You know, mentality wise, they might have to like flip some stuff, you know, from like being a martial arts genius to like a sex icon. You know, you gotta figure out how to do that.
How to balance.
But I think personally, like, those two people, you could trade places and it wouldn't work as bad as you think.
What would be one thing different from both of them if they traded places?
Well,
do you think Chris Brown and Chris Rock would have did a better Rush Hour?
Maybe, man. I don't know. I think if they traded places, Jackie Chan might be he might be a little more Jackie Chan in the bedroom. And I think, you know, if Jackie Chan was in Chris Brown's body, there'd be more tutorials online. I don't know. It'd be like, here's how I do the backflip.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, what would be one thing different that Jackie Chan would fuck up for Chris Brown?
I think the whole, ladies man thing Chris has got going on would probably tank. Not saying Jackie Chan's not a ladies man in his own right. I'm just saying if you had Jackie Chan, from what I've seen of Jackie Chan in Hollywood, if you had Jackie Chan's personality inside Chris Brown, and like, I don't know if I have a question. I guess Jackie Chan would inherit Chris's voice too, though.
Yeah.
So then it would just matter, does he inherit like all his like speaking ability? You know what I mean? Like are his language skills 100% perfect too? Or would he still say things like slightly Asian?
He has it all. I mean, it's Jackie Chan and Chris Brown's body, and life's changed.
But it just is mine. This is the same.
Yes.
Yeah, I still think I still feel like the ladies man thing would go into the ground, because that takes years of getting reinforced into you to be that character.
Yeah, it's
where Jackie Chan is
the game.
The badass martial arts guy. So like, I don't think Jackie Chan's used to like, Playboy parties and R&B music.
No, real talk. And I can't imagine Jackie Chan doing a garage sale with his clothes the same way Chris Brown did.
No, man.
I'm sure wouldn't find no weed and no pockets in Jackie Chan's pockets.
No, you wouldn't, man. You definitely would not.
All right,
you'd probably get a new wardrobe too. You probably wouldn't keep Chris's clothes.
That would suck.
I know, because Chris has got some fire fits, man.
Yeah, he got flavor. Flavor for real. It's a culture.
He's like speaking of freaking idols, man. It was like that was it. It was like him and Tank, dude. Him, Tank, and Usher were my those guys were my shit, man. They're like, Chris has inspired me more than almost any other artist, just from like an entertainment music standpoint. Him and Usher equally, man. They just, and Tank, man. All three of, that's why I said all three of them is like they're on the pedestal to me.
In all fairness, talking about Chris Brown, I've been in arguments with real people about Chris Brown and Michael Jackson, and Chris Brown having more hits than Michael Jackson. So,
yeah,
the history's there.
Yeah, same here.
And trust me, my producer that's looking, he's from the radio, and he's looking at me like, motherfucker, why are you starting this shit again?
That's funny, man. I'm
Q&A. Yeah, let me go ahead and change topics before I get flack from behind the scenes.
All right, let's switch it up.
You never say that again about Michael Jackson. As he's grabbing his waist. Don't be tussy flying in here, Kev. All right. I had this thing called Impulse Q&A, and how it works is I got questions that are from cards. They don't pay me, so I don't show you the name. But they have great questions, and you get to answer 3 of them. If you don't like the question, that's fine. Just say pass, but you still got to answer 3.
Great.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Hit me.
Question number 1. What things do you do every day that you wish could be automated?
Dude, I wish making my bed could be automated. Does that count?
It does, but you care that much about your bed being made after leaving?
Oh, you're right. I'm thinking too small. You're right.
Bro.
Oh, shit. You're talking about anything.
I don't want to travel no more. I don't want to do no more driving. I want someone to drive. Actually, I just want to close my eyes and wake up and be in a meeting.
Okay. That's true. That's true. I was thinking just like day to day, like little tiny stuff. Dude, I driving, obviously, I wish was automated. And then I wish all like dishes and stuff were automated. Like, I want to be like fed and cleaned up after without thinking about it. And then, yeah, you know what? I'm going to scoop that into cleaning. So all cleaning is automated. And that's going to be my answer other than driving.
You know what? What's funny about that is that with this whole coronavirus and all the shit, having automated cleaning would really make the world safe.
Oh, yeah, it really would. It would.
Shit, I wouldn't see, like, I'm in California, so I see all these signs on the road that normally say, be safe, don't drink and drive, don't text, save a life. It says, wash your hands. Like, motherfucker, that's been the rule since day one.
I'm pretty sure I learned that rule before I was old enough to talk. That's been drilled into me since I was a kid, man. Wash your hands.
Serious. Question number 2. What's the most awkward thing that happens to you on a regular basis?
Most awkward thing that happens to me on a regular basis. Man, I don't think I have that many awkward things happen to me, so I gotta pass on this one. I wouldn't have a good enough answer for you.
Oh man, don't be saying like I'm the god or something. I'm just a regular person that got a little opportunity and talks. That's it. You ain't gotta put no pressure and say I'm somebody. I'm just the regular person, man, that just talks.
All
right, so we passed. Question number 2. What is your most unusual talent?
Oh, dude, I don't know if I can still do it, but for a while I could lick my elbow, which they said was impossible.
You know what? I tried, and I didn't do it on camera because I understood there's a distance between my mouth and my elbow, so I wasn't gonna look like a fool. But wow.
Yeah, man. When I was like 11, 12, 13, I haven't tried in a long time, but I could straight up Mac on that thing if I wanted to.
He said the pun was intended. Elbow Mac. Oh shit. Conor, you dropping bars and don't even know it. That's that songwriting in you.
That's right.
Question number 3. What makes you feel old?
TikTok.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now you just made
TikTok makes me feel old, man. I feel like I'm from I'm not even that much older than people who use TikTok, but I feel like when I was growing up, like there were skits for entertainment, you know. It was like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like sections. You had more time for the payoff, right? There was more time to like get to the point. And now it's like these kids are making hilarious videos in like 10 seconds. And I don't understand how they do it. I don't understand how it goes viral. I don't understand anything about it. And that makes me feel real fucking old. I'm not gonna lie.
I will say there's one thing I will point out is that get anybody and everybody to do something with your song playing in the background, because that counts as stream count.
For like TikTok and stuff?
TikTok, Thriller, and there's one other one that's out there.
That counts as streaming now?
Deadass, bro. Deadass.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, if you hit 75 million on TikTok, that's going gold.
That's crazy, dude. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, like I don't get it as in I haven't done any dances. I haven't done any of that stuff. Like I even introduced the guy that produced Savage, Megan Thee Stallion Savage, Jay White.
Yeah.
And like we talked about the TikTok thing, and like in the back of my mind, like I still don't get the shit.
Dude, and it's not even that I'm like a hater on TikTok, because I have TikTok and I'll go through it and I'll laugh my ass off at some stuff and I'll be like, damn, that's cool. Like that's cool. I haven't figured out how to use it yet. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm hoping one of my songs ends up on there and like people are using it for everything. That would be a dream come true. But what makes me feel old is the fact that I haven't fully wrapped my head around the app. And I'm from a generation that uses apps.
Touche. Well, on that note, you know, what are you most excited for coming up?
Dude, I'm excited for, I got a summertime EP coming out. My first single comes out May 8th, which is coming up super soon.
What's the name?
And then it's, the first single is called Way Out.
Way Out.
The summertime EP is called Heartbreak in the Hills. So I'm really excited about all that shit. It's a feel-good record. You know, it sounds like partying in the summertime, which hopefully we'll be able to do by the time it drops. So yeah, I'm just excited about dropping more music, dude. I'm always making music. Like I got this little setup in my bedroom since Corona started, you know. So I'm still always making music, even when I'm not like in an official studio. So I just love creating, and I love, you know, having other people get to listen to it.
You know, I appreciate the fact that you don't take an excuse and run it as a reason of why not to do it, versus you take that excuse as why to do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been working on like a new sound. So with all this free time, I've been planning my 2021 sound, because I got all the music lined up for this year. So I've been like pivoting and like trying to figure out what I want to say next year.
So are you looking for beats? Is this your moment to tell producers to send you something?
Dude, I'm always getting pitch beats and songs, so I'm always open to hearing beats and stuff, and new collaborations, shit like that. I just like making music, so I don't care where it comes from.
So when you gonna go from being the cool Hollywood hillbilly to just Hollywood?
I don't think that's possible, man. I was raised on Southern rock, baby.
Oh man, I had to throw that in there. So you notice the show is unique, it's different, but at the same time, some of the same things of asking questions about the history. But I like to stand out, and as my listeners know, I try to do something that's different at the end of the show that no one does. And so I added this thing. It's called "You Got Any Questions for Me?"
How'd you get started? Running an interview show. What made you want to be a personality?
Bro, a bunch of people told me no. I had my own radio show in college, like UC Santa Barbara, big party school, and we had a cool little thing going. And then I did some online radio stuff when I moved back to where my family's from and stuff. And that didn't do anything. And I got into the music world. And then I did that for 10 years, and it ain't I built a whole bunch of relationships and got a whole bunch of friends and people I can rely on, and that stuff's countless value. But I still wasn't in the game, and then I was like, well, how the hell do I do this? And I tried applying at radio stations and doing all types of things, trying to join people's podcasts, and they all told me no. So I was like, you know what? Thank you. I'm gonna start my own. Yeah, man. No's
create a lot of opportunity, huh?
Yes, sir. And then I got across with my big bro, Bobby D. And Bobby D, I had an interview that later on that day. He said, I want to present your show. About 2 months ago, Snoop Dogg said, hey, I want to get involved in this. And now he's presenting the show. And, I'm in a blessed situation.
That's incredible, man. I love that. See, I love that, man. It's like you just got to keep doing. You got to keep going on, right? Yeah, man. I love that. That's great, man. Well, congrats, because this is a super cool show, man. It's been one of my favorite things so far.
Hey, thank you, bro. I appreciate you being my history.
Yeah, same to you.
It's Contrast Uncut, Season 3, Episode 3. I've had the honor and the pleasure of rocking with the next future wave with timeless music, Conor Matthews. I want to make sure I give a big shout out to Bobby D Presents and Uncle Snoop's Army, because all this won't be possible without you, brothers. Right. Thank you for coming on the show, Conor.
Thanks for having me, man. I had a great time. Hey, what's up? I'm Conor Matthews. Tuning into Contrast Uncut. Shout out Uncle Snoop, Bobby D Presents. We had a great time today talking about a whole bunch of shit, so I hope you guys like it.
Man, it was real. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
We will be in contact before we air the episode. We'll reach back out and let you know about it. So you feel free to tag or whatever. That'd be great.
Great. Done.
I sent what's his name?
Dylan probably, yeah.
Yeah, I sent Dylan the whole flyer for the promo, so once it starts rolling.
Cool. Done, man.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. It's been an honor, man. Take care. I can't wait to hear new music. I can't wait for May 8th.
Yeah, I can't either, man. Hope you guys like it. All right, take care.
Double L, Cool J, time still ticking though. Big clock, Flavor Flav, that's a public enemy. They see me coming up. Every verse I'm going flip mode, squad, bust a bus. Feel like Pac and keep your head up. Biggie shooting juicy. Coach is still alive, just let me prove. King, nigga.
Everything that you do, baby, I salute you. Every dream that came.
Wasn't that a really good episode? I know. Did you enjoy it? Because I enjoyed it. Can you hit the like button for me next? Can you hit the subscribe button for me next? And go ahead, leave some comments below. I check them out. I show them to who I interviewed. We got more content, more Contrast Uncut. There's some boxes over here. Kev,
yeah.
You're supposed to have some boxes over here.
I'll get them up.
And more episodes on the way. Make sure you tune in. Contrast Uncut. It's DJ $1.